One night we decided, fuck it, we're going to tell him. We're going to just tell him. When you're touring with Eminem, and you're hanging out with him at Brixton Academy, playing venues like that, when all of a sudden Brains McLeod is the guy that everyone fucking loves. I think that our first song that we wrote with the band was a song called Cunt, a dedication to George Bush. I mean, no one's winning the X Factor unless someone in their family's dying.
And then, like, you start running into problems with the record company. I mean, when did this thing start to go wrong? When did you sort of see this wasn't quite as good as it seemed?
I think that the problems came from the fact that we knew that if we released a record, it was over. Our point was to go in and get as far as we could, but when you're touring with Eminem, and you're hanging out with him at Brixton Academy, playing venues like that, at that point there, we had done everything. We should have stopped right there. But we were so addicted to the life of getting everything we want because we're Americans. You have to remember, before this, Gavin Bain had achieved fuck all. I could have been a professional footballer, I failed at that. I could have been a professional cricket player, I failed at that. I was really good at snooker, I failed at that. Everything I'd done, I'd failed at. So when all of a sudden Brains McLeod is the guy that everyone fucking loves, it was like, yeah, sure, cool, we've proved our little point, but fuck going back to Gavin Bain because he's just going to keep on failing. And Bill was so in love with who he was. He was having the greatest time of his life. He didn't know what the problem was. But we knew that, yeah, as soon as that fucking record comes out, it's over. So we just started stalling and making up all these excuses of why we can't release the record, and fucking Sony we kept thinking that we didn't like it because it wasn't, they kept remixing the record, and that's when the record comes back and it's a fucking hip-hop rock record, very heavy guitars, and right in the middle of it, our A&R suggests that they drop in a timpani drum solo, and we go in and hear the record, and it sounds like fucking shit, it's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, there's a timpani drum solo, bing, dicka, boom, boom, back, bing, bing, in a fucking heavy rock record. Like, what's fucking wrong with you? And I remember being just all these things that we were learning, being in the studio, and the A&R comes in, and it's like, listen to a record that you've been working your ass off all day on. They come in, and it's like, it's great. It's fucking great. I wonder if we can just take that one little bit out, though. That bit. What, the hook? Take the hook of the song out. Yeah, no, just that little bit. Just take that little bit out. So she went away. We didn't do fucking anything. They came back. She was like, sounds amazing now. Sounds amazing. So they wanted to go with that track that we never listened to them on. And basically they kept trying to put the record out, and we kept making excuses for not releasing the record. And that caused a lot of problems. And also, by we went on MTV and Dundee. People from Dundee had started to see us, and it caused so many problems across the board. Also, we were becoming extremely close friends with certain members of the record company, and we were going out and doing things like getting wasted with the head of video, Dan Miller at Sony, and just you need to fucking become friends with someone who's on your level, but he's the enemy. There's all these, you can't really, there's a lot of problems that happen in your head. But one night we just decided, fuck it, we're going to tell him. We're going to just tell him. So we started making prank phone calls in a Scottish accent to see what he would do. Like, oh, can I get a number from Marta Pello, please? And he was just laughing his ass off. And then we were like, Dan, listen, we're Scottish, man. We're Scottish. And he was like, it's fucking amazing, man. He's like laughing his ass off. He was so drunk, so fucking drunk. And the next morning, we're walking in to his glass office, and there's Steve Warby from Sony, and all these people are standing around, and we're thinking, oh, fuck, no, what have we done? We're going to walk in here, and they're going to go, what the fuck's going on? We walk in, they all start laughing, and Dan turns around, and he's like, go and do the Billy Connolly impression you were doing last night. That was fucking brilliant, that. And he didn't remember any of it. Close call.
So, did anyone rumble you? I mean, did people see it on MTV in Dundee?
Yeah, there was like websites started. We had to. My friend runs a hip hop website in Dundee, and I had to get him to close down the website because it got hit just with like thousands of posts like, what the fuck's Gav doing, what's Bill doing, I fucked Gav up in Pegasus Chips Up a few years back, what the fuck's he doing, I think he's a fucking American rapper. You know, no one understood what we were trying to do. So and at record companies there is people you know, who are assigned to watch the press that you get and to watch what's being said about you online and try to control that. And there was a guy who worked at Sony called Simon Hankin, and that was his job. And we just were like, fuck, Simon's going to see this shit, and he's going to, you know, he's going to raise up the alarms. So we spent a day trying to get websites shut down, you know, and eventually we did.
I think Sony are quite good at that, aren't they? Certainly with the Oasis ones and stuff. So I mean, you're still kind of having a good time though, and then you just
best time of our lives, by the way, absolute fucking greatest time of our lives. Anything you want, fucking booze on tap, as are the girls. Our house was completely filled with people at 24/7. Half of them I knew, most of them I hated, and just, you know. And completely in love with it, you know, completely fucked on all sorts of drugs and the high life.
And then, so having failed to, I guess, Sony having failed to release something, you then kind of dropped another sort of bombshell in that you decided that to go from a duo to a 5-piece punk band. How did that go down?
Not well. Basically, Sony had spent quite a few thousands recording our hip-hop album. And we had made them do all these fucking crazy remixes of all these tracks, which cost them more and more thousands. I think one of the guys who worked on a Foo Fighters record had even remixed the lead single, and it sounded incredible to stand there and go, oh no, it's just there's something wrong with it. We don't like it still.
Is this just so it wouldn't get released?
Yeah. So it would cause these problems. And yeah, what was the question?
Yeah, you decided to become a punk band.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Basically, I was trying to find. We were having such a good time, and we didn't want it to end, but we couldn't keep putting the record company off. And I desperately fucking wanted to put a record out, but I didn't want to put Silibil and Brains out because it was never meant for that. That's not what we were. It was a joke. It was a con. It was a fake thing. I dearly wanted to go back. At that point, I hanging out with hip hop guys in London is soul destroying. You know, hanging out with everyone. Everyone thinks they're the fucking best, and everyone's the best rapper around. Everyone's the best singer around. It's all just bullshit. It just I started to hate music, and especially the hip hop scene. Like, I just couldn't stand it anymore, and I was so falling back in love with punk rock and the old school punk rock and the old school metal that I was listening to, and especially a band called Billy Talent that just came out from Canada, and I was just saying, what if we flipped it back now into like rock? Would the accents matter? And then we could maybe just drop it down the line on them that we're going to start putting on Scottish accents. See how that works. You know, we were working towards that, but
how well did that work?
Didn't work at all. What? Scottish artists are never going to sell, you know. But we didn't even ask them or anything. We got the band members in, and we were playing them some new material, and it was just loud, you know, not really mixed properly, aggressive as fuck. Punk rock, and that didn't get many seconds through the track. I think that our first song that we wrote with the band was a song called "Cunt," a dedication to George Bush, and yeah, they just said no fucking way. "Cunt" actually went on because we were kind of putting stuff out little bits, through the street teams and on student radio. "Cunt" went to number 1 on student radio across the board. Kept Westlife off number 1 on student radio, just because, with the word "cunt," and the record company there was three women in the room, and they were like, "You can't say cunt; it's offensive to women." And it's like, come on, man, fucking hell, So yeah, they weren't going to let that record go out, and they were ready to pull the plug on the punk stuff, and then obviously another tour happened. Promoters were like, fuck, that band's become a punk band. That's incredible. We want them to do this. We got more and more support slots. Our live scene was pretty incredible, but to do it with live musicians and diving over each other, setting drum kits on fire and doing stage somersaults and stuff. The first few people that saw it just loved it, and they were like, this is them. This is what they should be. Then Sony come in being like, we're going to give you more money to do the record properly. And it's like, what? It's like, and we're definitely, the release date will be here. This will be the release date, and it's like, so yeah, we're still kind of under that same problem. Like, these people are fucking idiots. They really are. Monkeys, a lot of them.
And so they never actually released it, did they? But they did. Did they not put you on a huge university tour?
Yeah, we did. We did loads of tours. I mean, we'd done some festivals. That festival seminar earlier. We'd done a whole bunch of stuff, and we didn't have any profile, on the greater scheme of things. As for fans, the people that's really important. No one really gives a real shit about them. Basically, as soon as we became American and product that can be sold, we were lined up with tours everywhere, and they could sell to universities. Like, yeah, they're American. They're two times Eminem, And so, like, just straight up across the board. I mean, I don't know if anyone is an artist here and has tried to book your own tour. It's fucking really hard, because you have to have all this shit going for you. And we had nothing going for us other than the fact that we were American, and everyone was trying to...
This is what amazed me, though. I mean, do you think Sony just used its might to get... Because, you're describing scenes as stickers everywhere. Everyone seemed to know who you were. And this is like, wow. Someone must have been sending them all the press stuff, all the promo stuff. I mean, do you think that was the kind of power behind it?
The power behind it is just, rich white men who run companies, and just one man at the top saying, yeah, this is going to happen, and it happens, Like, everything in the music industry is about money, and it's real nice to listen to hear some real people talk about their stuff, but it's all about money. To start from scratch, unless you're willing to put every cent you're ever going to make back into it and prepare to be broke for most of your life, there is no other way to do it than to lose all your rights, make a lot of money really quick, and then you're going to be broke again, and you're going to be in debt massively to a record company. So, I mean, how it happens? Yeah, it's just fucking... One guy has the power to say this is going to happen. His friend says this is going to happen. His friend says this, and then you've got 5 or 6 companies together doing something, and that was the driving force behind Silibil. Brains were on Helter Skelter. They were a massive booking agent. We were on one of the biggest labels in the world, and we're American loud ass, dicks really.
With a top manager.
Yeah, Jonathan.
I mean, this is because you did sort of you were saying earlier on that you're kind of disagreeing with a lot of the festival things. This is different to your experience.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it fucking amazing that people can sit on a panel and tell you of how much intricate details that you must know, and you must be on this site, and you must be on that site, and you must be on this site. Silibil and Brains did it without any of that. We got to where most artists would like to be without any of that. On what? On confidence, on knowing what they want, and abusing the fuck out of that. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it really is about. I mean, someone said about a 5-step plan. And number 1 is where everyone is failing at. Be amazing. Fucking hell. Let's all sit around and talk about what's good, because no one's going to agree. Just to be amazing is absurd. It doesn't matter. The music industry is not about that. It's about money. The A&Rs are trying to be famous. They want to be the bands. The bands are the ones who make it biggest, are the people who know 3 chords and are out of their faces all the time and have primal scream, who don't understand what's going on in their lives. How come they're making it and clever individuals are starving? Do you know what I mean? This is the bullshit about the music industry. It's just, it's mental. It's all fucking money and fame. If you're a product, if you're good looking, that's more important than your talent. Do you know what I'm saying? If you've got something sellable about you, or something really horrible about you, I mean, no one's winning the X Factor unless someone in their family's dying. You know what I'm saying? So it's bullshit. You know? It's all fucking... it's crazy. It's like... So, if it's all bullshit, then maybe start coming up with schemes that are all bullshit, you know? Look at the ways of abusing the system, rather than going along and listening to what people want you to... I mean, put your hands up, right? People were doing this thing earlier, put your hand up. All right, okay. Put your hands up. Who wants a record deal? Don't I know you guys? Where do I know you guys from? And Bill just puts on an Australian accent. Nah, mate. Nah, you got the wrong guys, mate. We just ain't from Oz. I mean, no one's winning the X Factor unless someone in their family's dying. I'm a complete monster. I created a monster and became that monster.
What were some of the more extreme responses? Your manager, the people that had personally invested in you?
When you sign a record deal, everyone fucking wants to be around you. Everyone wants to be around you. And when you're released, it's nothing. No one wants to talk to you. You're dead. You may as well be dead.